Hi everybody, this video is all about why Laurie and I started to ride trikes. I hope you enjoy.
Hi everybody, in this video we're going to talk why Laurie and I both started riding trikes. And I think we'll work with Laurie first. Now Laurie has had her hip replaced and both her knees need to be replaced. So she's a lot of difficulty walking, and also her balance is really gone bad over the years. So I remember trying to get her on a bike, and I got a regular bike, but it was designed to have for a very low step through, so that she didn't have to raise her leg very high. I think maybe about that high to get on the bike. And we tried that for a little while, and that, quite frankly, did not work. She scared the shit out of me, because every time she started, she was from one way over the other lane to there. It took her about a half block before she even started going into a straight line. So she couldn't start from a normal start and go on the bike lane. No, she just weaved all over the place. She just couldn't get her balance. So then I bought her a sun trike. She got on that, and the first day she rode 3 times what she could ride the first time. She went around a park and all that, and that was it. Actually, she talked me into getting a trike. My blood sugar, I was getting into more and more lows, and I think what finally convinced her to, she just put the hammer down. You are going to get a trike. Was I was coming home from work, and I was late, and she was starting to wonder. She was starting to phone around. Next thing, she gets a knock on the door, and an RCMP, a police officer, comes and brings my bike and assures me that I'm all right, everything's going. I had a low, and I went underneath the car, and she thought, next time it's going to be a lot worse. So at that point, I got a trike. And actually, at that stage, my blood sugar was starting to go low. I was starting to go and get a hypoglycemic mode every couple of weeks. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed at 13 that I had diabetes. The doctors think I'd been diabetic for quite a few years before that. Being a type 1 diabetic, as I said, that's the hereditary diabetes. So, but the whole thing with the diabetes, like I've been a diabetic now 60 years, your body adjusts to low blood sugars, and I do run low consistently. At the moment, my blood sugar is about 4.6, or for my American audience, that'd be about 84, 85, and I don't even start feeling. I have no inclination that I'm going low, and I have climbed a hill with a blood sugar of 2.5 or 45. I didn't even know it. I start feeling it at a blood sugar at 2.1, which is about 37, and from 4.6 to 2.1, where I may start feeling it, is maybe 10 minutes for me, sometimes less. If the weather's cold, it will drop even faster. It'll be a matter of 5 minutes to drop from there. And I give you an example. About 3 years ago, on Christmas Eve, I wanted to get a few things just before Christmas Eve, and the store was open before the store shut. So I left plenty of time. I'm only, a 15-minute bike ride at that. So I'll be gone a half hour, 15 minutes there and back, and 15 minutes and Laurie finally phoned because I hadn't to think. Now before I went, I made sure my blood sugar was about, I think it was about 8, 9, so that would put it around, I'm not sure, that'd be 200, I'm guessing. I have no idea what that is. Anyway, it was 8.9, and anyway, I got in, and I'm not feeling, I think I better check my blood sugar. It already dropped down to 4.6 at 83. And I was like, I better bike home. I better get home before it gets low. And within 5 minutes, I had dropped down to 1.5. So I actually gone to, I sort of remember everything getting low and dizzy and all that, and your vision gets narrower, and I'm getting there, and I think I don't even remember getting to the stop sign. I stopped at the stop sign onto a road. I was only about 250 meters or a quarter of a kilometer from home. That's, I don't know what that's in distance, of be less than really close to home. And my blood sugar dropped down to at least 1.5 or 27, because I know at 1.5 and around there I black out. And all I remember is that RCMP officer, he waking me up and seeing if I'm all right. And I'm sounding like I'm drunk. I sound like I'm drunk as hell. Like, I think I'm all right. I gotta go home, and really deal. I mean, the main thing is on the trike, I had my medical alert bag, and you could see, hey, it's a medical alert. Also, I mean, I'm wearing these all the time, and the first thing it says, I mean, I've got this type 1 diabetic and brittle, and that's not, brittle means you're really serious. You're from the time you start dropping to the time you do drop is very, very short. Because as I said, at a blood sugar 2.1, I'm still coherent. I can talk coherently, and that's equivalent to 37. So at 2.1 or 37, I'm coherent. At 1.5 or 27, I'm blacked out. So your thing is going. Anyway, he sort of started calling around, because I had the numbers for both my Laurie and my daughter. And my daughter, of course, is Victoria. And they tried to call Laurie. Unfortunately, Laurie was on the phone, and she phoned Richmond Hospital to see if I had been brought in, because I should have gone home hours ago. I wasn't there. And she said, hello, my name, this is Mrs. DeVere. I'm knowing if my husband, and the first thing they said, oh, David, no, we haven't got him yet. And she says, they know him on first name basis. That's not good. So it gives you an idea. Yeah, I've had quite a few incidents for it. And then he called my daughter, and she said, yeah, there's some stuff in his thing. If you can get him to get the juice in him and get some the chocolate bars and candy into him, the sugar chubs, that will help him. So he got me that into, and of course, once you get sugar into your body, starts coming. And next thing, oh, where am I? I'm supposed to be home. And he says, how far? Do you know where you are? And I look around. Oh, I'm close to number 4, but it's number 4 road there. Oh, good. I'm just about 200. I just passed Stevenston Highway. And down to it. So we're about 350 meters from home, and they said there's a real backup ambulance, so I'm not going to get the ambulance. So we got the food. I got more and better, and he said, I'm going to follow you home. So I rode my bike. I'm in the bike, and he's riding. He's right behind me with the lights flashing. He actually had the lights flashing. And we come to the light, I stopped the light, and then it got the green light. And the nice thing about the trike, I mean, you don't need balance. And God, my balance was pretty bad. And all I remember, going through, the next thing I know, he pulls in front of the thing, he starts flashing to make sure nobody gets through. So I got an escort across Stevenson Highway and down to the thing, and then I indicated where my home was. He knew where it was. He talked to my daughter, he had to hang up on her, and then I got into the thing, and the door was open, and Laurie was down there, and they're all waiting, and I rode into the thing, and next thing I know, I'm getting out of the bike, and he's come. I guess I was wobbly again by then, because whatever sugar I used, that was long burning away. And I mean, I'm not even thinking. They all talked to the thing, and he says, oh yeah, I'm on the phone with Kathleen, and he was talking, and yeah, he got him home, and they assured everybody I was home. And Laurie just got me, plucked me down, and she put hot water with honey. And the funny thing is, I can't taste it. I don't even know how sweet this stuff is. So they just put tons of honey and anything to get me going. And then once I get thinking, oh yeah, that helps. And yeah, it's pretty bad. But I do run low. If it wasn't for the trikes, I would have been able to ride. But lately I have now gone on to a loop system. So I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I'm fairly cutting edge. So I'm using a third-party app, Tide Pool. I'm using the Tide Pool, and I'm using the Omnipod Dash. Now there's an Omnipod 5 that has its own, but I'm using the Omnipod Dash, and I'm using the Dexcom G7. So I'll just show you where the Omnipod is. So I've got the Omnipod Dash here. I'm trying that position. It seems to work really comfortable. I don't even know it's on there. I've been biking a couple times and it's really good. So I think that might be a great spot for me. I can't put it around my waist because my waist got a bit. I've had many years of the two of insulin pumps on there, so I don't think the vision is as good as the thing. Also, if I've got a very short torso, and when I wear a harness or anything like that, which has to go right here, it covers over it, and I think that it's really uncomfortable. But this seems to be one of the best spots. That's the nice thing about a tubeless pump. You can place them all over the different places. My G7, which right here, this is the Dexcom G7. I'm trying this spot out. I quite like the spot. I found the spot underneath the arm where they suggest. I've had one fall off there. It seems to be less comfortable, but this seems to give me a good reading, and everything else I've tested with the finger pokes, and that seems to work for me. So my Dexcom, the Dexcom G7 talks to the Tide Pool app, and the Tide Pool app then controls the insulin, how much insulin it controls, how much insulin I'm getting, and all that. In fact, actually, my BMI for the last 14 days is 6.9. We're 125, which is awesome. Honestly, without the Loop app, I probably wouldn't be able to ride a regular bike. I think I'd be going too low too often, and this Loop app has been fantastic. And the last thing I got just about 3 weeks ago is I got the watch, and I like that because I can see at a glance my blood sugar is now 4.8, and lots of times I could just flick my wrist and see it. And when I'm biking, it's so handy just to be able to see that what your blood sugar is, because half the time even when I'm on bonding on the phone, I couldn't quite see this thing. And I've got my alarm to set off. My first alarm sets off at 4.6 or about 83. And then the second alarm, which is a real loud, virtually a siren, goes off when my blood sugar drops down to 3.1 or 55. From my blood sugar going from 4.6 or 83 down to 1.5 or 27, I've got maybe, if I'm lucky, 10 minutes. So my blood sugar, once it starts crashing, it crashes really fast. And this is even with the pump turned off. So I'm not giving myself any insulin. I burn it up fast. And I think the lowest I've ever gone, Laurie said at the hospital, this was 0.3 or 5. The Trike really has made a difference. And if it hadn't been for biking, I would have been an amputee. If my looping ever gets to the point where it's still not be able to maintain me at this, and my balance starts going, because I must admit, I really did push it to the end before I got the Trike. I was getting lots of times where I would be coming home and I would be so dizzy, and I know the bike starts wobbling because you can't balance, when your blood sugar is below 2.1 or 37, your decision making, quite frankly, is shit. You don't make good decisions. You don't think properly, and that is one of the biggest things. But that's the reason I went into a Trike, and it hadn't been the Trike. I don't think I could have done the Jasper to Golden trip, which I did take videos, but somehow I lost them, which really pees me off, because that would have made a great series of videos. I must admit, riding on the Trike through the ice fields, when you're laying back and you're looking around, it's just glorious. Because without biking, as you said, I'd be an amputee, and you start sitting around and you can't do anything, then everything else goes really fast. So that's the main thing. Thanks again. Sorry this was a meander, but I think I needed to explain why me and Laurie got into the trikes, and for Laurie, a trike is her only option. With the looping, I'm keeping me in very tight control, and I'm not going into hypoglycemic modes. I haven't been running for over a year now, which is for me incredible. Ever since I've been on the loop, I've been rock solid, and that has been a godsend. Anyway, bye. Thank you again for putting up with this boring video. Bye-bye.
Thanks everybody, and thank you all for being so patient for this video. My next video will be a tour along the riverfront trail of the Nechako.